It is the final, ladies and gentlemen, the grand final today between the Evil Murkies and the CrowingCocks, Team CC on Infernal Shrines, our first map in the best of 3 series. Illidan banned out immediately. And the Murkies, then, well, they had the opportunity to actually watch their opponents play against CLG in the last semifinal, so that gives them maybe a bit of an edge since they know what's going to be played here. Tyrande and Khaldor is always a risk. There's a couple of things that you really want to get rid of if you're playing against a team that is stacking so much CC here. But the Murkies, they have now their first ban in this setup, and with Illidan already banned out, they get rid of Tassadar. Alright. Okay. So, Tassadar currently taken away. And, again, the Khaldor's pick. I could have seen the Murkies actually ban out Khaldor. I guess Tassadar, of course, is always a bit of a nuisance, especially if you know that your opponent goes for a lot of Sonya builds, but I could actually see the Murkies going into a Sonya right now. I'm a little bit curious to see how exactly they're going to draft this right now. They're probably going to try to at least take Tyrande away from their opponent, since that was the... yeah. And, well, as I say, there's already the beginning of exactly that happening, taking the Tyrande away, picking it themselves. The question is, of course, what they are going to try and combo that off with. They could, in this case, maybe even go for an early ETC. I think it would be a bit too early for that. They're probably going to leave their tank open, and then they can still add an Arthas, a Stitches, a Mirrodin, or an ETC then later on. If anything, I don't really believe. Okay. Like, what? Okay, Stack, you definitely need to lay off the booze. Like, what? Dude, I'm really starting to run out of words here, alright? Like, it is, like, sorry, but you are, that is, I don't know what to say anymore. Dude, you're completely going overboard with it. I hope that you know that, but definitely know that I really, really, really appreciate it. Like, thanks a lot. Thank you. But, yeah. I'm running out of things to say. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. Thanks for that. The draft continues in the meantime with a ban on Li Ming. So the Evil Murkies, they go into a false set. I actually would have said that the ban on false set over Li Ming would have been even the better choice here. Nubarak at this point is the choice for the Evil Murkies, and I can only see that work if they really go into a second frontline. I believe in Arthas, which is a comp that they played before with Arthas and Nubarak, would be a nice option for them. Mirrodin is also still out there, so that would work too and gives them another CC. The CrowingCocks are playing the Charism. That was kind of expected after Uther was already banned out, so it is a Johanna instead. That also makes sense, I suppose, if they lock her down. Shocks. Cheers, bro. Thank you very much for the resub, my friend. Thanks for that. But yeah, Johanna would make... Like, there's so many front lines that would really work with this, but no matter what they do, I believe that they definitely have to add another tank. A Johanna, a Mirrodin, an Arthas. It doesn't really matter too much which one. Chromie would blow me away. Like, I do not believe that a Chromie would be in any way successful here. I think that would be a horrible pick, And I like that they're switching back to Johanna, since Nubarak alone, even with a double support and a Chromie in the back line, like, that is never going to work. I'm very sorry to say. Like, if you want to play a Chromie, you have to play a very, very different setup. Arthurs, as I said, would work as well. There's so many options for them. They go Arthurs. They went Arthurs and Nubarak already. That was perfect for them. So yeah, in this case, we're having now a Nubarak and Arthurs already set up for them. Super cool front line, a lot of CC, helps out Falstad for auto attack damage, double support behind that even. Lockdown attempt with a Nubarak, Arthur's Howling Blast, and also going to Rana Stun.
Welcome.
Well, I guess thanks again, but dude, it's too much. It's really too much. Like, thank you so much, but it's too much. Like, thanks. Guys, with a stack attack at the end here, Infernal Shrines is going to be our first map. The Evil Murkies versus the CrowingCocks, game number 1 at the grand final at the ZOTAC Cup. Game number 1, everybody! It is the starting game here, and well, we have already to the left side Team CC with Mopsio and his boys stacking quite a bit of CC. It's actually not as much as they did in the last few games, but still with ETC already being played by Mopsio and Celium and the Kelthas. They have a few options here. Raid Boss is playing Sonya. We're currently seeing Lunan on Karazim. We have Sphyxy on Greymane. And to the right side, it is their opponent, the French team. It's the Evil Murkies, and they are currently rocking it with Q on Tyrande, with Tic Tac on his Smurf account, Zzz, on Nubarak. We have Donatan on Arthurs, Arcane on Falstad, and Lothair is playing Rega. With that being said, we have once again... Oh, actually, we have a bit of a switch here. No Season Marksman built this time for the auto attacks. Instead, it's the Gathering Power, trying to get a bit more pressure play against... Well, first of all, they can, of course, like get the stacks going and make sure that they burst the waves away, so the siege damage is going to be pretty real on Falstad. But another thing that they have is very nice poke damage during those shrine fights, which is going to be pretty cool with the Boomerang build later. And we are also seeing for the Evil Murkies a lot of CC, actually more than for Team CC. Howling Blast, yes, that's exactly what ETC is already experiencing. With Howling Blast, and Nubarak stuns, and also the Tyrande just dropping another stun on top of it, we have so much that you can use to blow a target to pieces, and that's what the cow definitely just realized. So in this case, we already have to the bot lane, the rotation still ongoing. Arthur's on the other hand, he rotated away after the initial kill and went up to the top lane to deal with Sonya and make sure that they get the experience. The French team, of course, quite strong. I mean, the boys made it to DreamHack Tour and played on the second day there as well. But Team CC has actually shown very nice play so far. These boys have been around for a long, long time in Heroes of the Storm, have played for a huge amount of teams actually, and they've been doing extremely well. So at this point, we're also seeing Tic Tac in a bit of trouble here, but he still has the cooldown ready so he can simply burrow charge away. Arcane went up to the mid lane immediately to help him out here. But the overall setup that we're currently seeing for the Bread team is pretty fantastic. Arcane has to be very careful though that he doesn't drop there, but Lothair is already in play. The thing is that we still have Q on supports, but it's actually interesting that overall there was a huge switch in actually like play on the side of the Evil Murkies. Back in the days it was always Q on the main support, but right now we are actually seeing Q on the second support or on one of the damage dealers, whereas Lothair has taken over the role of the main supporter and in this case is now playing that Rhaegar. The shrine is already active up at the top, but so far it's only Sonya who really goes for it. The rest of the players are still attempting to make sure that they hit level 4, which has now happened on the side of the blue team, on the side of CC. Falstad, of course, is going to make sure that at least this wave down here is going to be soaked, and he can always simply fly to the top and help out there. Already Arthur's on the shrine with the Biting Cold taken as a level 4 talent. The Static Shield for Falstad himself, as we have now once again on level 4 Thick Skin used. But here comes that play with Q already in trouble, and he is down, and so might be Lothair. He's also blown to pieces as Raid Boss goes in and slams those swords right into his face. Sonya with a kill, Donatan about to fall, Sphyxy not following it up, but it is a kill against the Nubarak after all there. So 3 versus 1 kills, and I still believe that they had a shot at taking Donatan down as well. One way or another, they're going to end up with a Punisher. And they still have lane soak now as well, where they start to move straight down to the bottom and attempt to take down Arcane as well. Sphyxy is not going for the kill just yet, but they're currently in a situation where they can try and maybe take him down here. Yeah, I guess the heal flies down, soaks the bot lane, so that's going to help him here trying to escape from Greymane, because there's always an opportunity for Sphyxy to use Greymane and just simply hard engage and take him down. At the top lane, the Punisher has now finally been taken and is starting to make his way through the top lane straight onto, of course, that gate. And uh-oh, there was a bit of a misbait. Danatan actually denying the jump in on the Punisher. He jumps onto the gate, is stuck there for a moment, and now they get max value out of this one. That is very unfortunate for the French team. This is actually like the best case scenario for, oh my god, they wait for the Punisher engage and then simply blow an Uberak to pieces. Like, the Exterminators have definitely arrived on Infernal Shrines. That's the second time that the bug was just squashed in the second. Great kill, and the first Punisher already delivering them fort number 1. That should never happen. A misplay on the bait. Normally you always want to bait the Punisher over the gate. That didn't happen here, and then they get the kill against the Uberak as well, so they end up losing the entire structures. They're a level ahead right now. Level 7 talents for both of the teams, but still, if this is going to be a kill against Rhaegar, then it's going to be a disaster. Arcane moved in to try and help out, needs to barrel roll away, but this is already a very tough game at this point for the Evil Murkies. They are really suffering here. We have now a follow-through taken twice, once for ETC, once for Sonya. The fight for the camp has started, but a lot of confidence on the side of the blue team, and they're going in again. Sphyxy needs to be a bit careful, but now Uberak is once again without an escape, and that means he is dead. And Uberak down there, going for Danatan, or at least they're trying to. Hugh was attempting to stun them out, not really successful at this point, and this is a disaster right now for the Evil Murkies. Mopsio looking at a chance to maybe get even another kill, but at this point Team CC is playing an absolutely incredible game here. 5 kills against 1, the Punisher with a drop at the fort to the top lane, and this was incredibly well done. I like the setup for Team Evil Murkies a lot, by the way. I really like it. It's a great setup that they are running here, with a lot of potential lockdown, a lot of synergy between the heroes, but so far they have not really capitalized on the synergies that they have. And they are just running into scenarios where little misplays are making the life of Team CC a lot easier. And I mean, these guys are experienced enough to immediately capitalize on it. This is exactly what they're doing here. So right now another camp is being taken, and just look what's happening here. Right now, with this much of an early game lead, we will see level 10 for Shrine number 2, which means that another Punisher is going to be taken by the blue team. Easily, by the way. It's not even going to be a contest. I mean, at this point, it's very likely that the Evil Murkies are not even going to go for the second Shrine, because they know they cannot fight against it. Bot lane is even falling now, or at least the wall is starting to drop. Camps are taken up here at the top 2, and Uberak and Tyrande are doing the same thing for the Evil Murkies. But there's absolutely no way for the French team to go in here. And just look at those heroic abilities. There's that lead that we wanted in one of the earlier games, and we have a stage dive over a mosh pit. Too many interrupts, and also, of course, the potential to just like blow ETC away with a quick Mighty Gust. And that translates into a backline, especially at Tyrande, that's going to have a huge amount of trouble keeping himself alive. Rhaegar is the only one who can help out with a cleanse in these cases, and he might actually become the priority target here after all then. Already, the abilities have been taken. Up at the top lane, a bit of a push, because the Evil Murkies realize they cannot go for the shrine, so the only thing that is available to them is a push at the top lane, trying to just get some extra experience. They have now with Starfall, with the Locust Swarm, with also the Army of the Dead, a huge amount of tools here already. Mopsio is there. Here comes the Starfall already. The jump in. Mopsio jumps in, only hits 1, but that might be enough. Palm is saving at least for now Karazib, but they're still getting engaged upon. The raid boss is finally there. This was a big problem actually, because he wasn't there at the beginning, but right now he is, and we already have a situation in which they can still start to give chase. Danatan has to move away. He was about to just simply be back with his Hearthstone since he was running out of mana, but now we have a Uberak once again being attacked, and Tic Tac is falling again. The Punisher, at the meantime, has taken down the fort at the bot lane. That was, of course, claimed before Sonya went even up to the top. And now they can move into the middle and try to do the exact same thing there as well. They are completely ripping the Evil Murkies a new one at this point. They're just simply going through the map like there's nothing else to care about. They are in a position where the Punisher is still threatening the wall at the bottom keep. Therefore, there has to be a reaction from the Evil Murkies. They bait it in, but they still lose hit points on the towers, especially one of the towers is nearly falling here. Could still fall, depending on how fast Zanatan is with his clearance. Finally gets that done, but now camps get stolen away. Basically, we are seeing them paint the map blue at this point. Team CC is getting camp after camp after camp. They're taking everything that they can on the map. They stole the opponent's Khaldor camp away. They take their own now, even waited for it already at the spot before it was about to spawn. The only camp that they haven't taken is the one up to the top right, and I mean, that would have been a little bit deep. Still a level lead here, but experience is not everything on maps like this. This is also about structures, the structural advantage that you have. Basically, with all these forts falling, all the wells gone, it means that every single time we see a fight for a shrine, even if it's on even talents, there is an advantage for Team CC because they can simply fall back to their own fort, heal up at the well, get mana back, and re-engage back into the fight. So they have a huge advantage one way or another. They should still, of course, try to make sure that they're not falling here. ETC jumping in, bit late to get any value out of it, but they are still able to drop that fort now because they have level 13 talents. And in this case, we even see the Aftershock taken. And the leap in against Falstad and Arcane. Oh my god. Barely survives. They really wanted that kill, but they didn't get it. But now they have Aftershock taken, they have Quicksilver, we're seeing also the On the Prowl, and Zanatan needs to hit that B button fast. Like, really fast. I like that he tries to escape here, and okay, nobody's gonna find him. So he plays with the vision, but it's a smart move. Oh, wow, actually, that could have backfired. But yeah, so he actually escapes for now. The Shrine is going to be active, and it's going to be a 13 versus 13 fight. We are seeing also now on Falstad, by the way, the Flow Rider. It's a bit of a different build, so in this case you are trying to get as many boomerangs out as possible, and therefore Flow Rider and Aerial Gust on 13 and 16 are great talents for you to take. Eradicating Spines, very important here, even the Shrink Ray for Toronto. But the important part still is that we have those wells active. And 10 seconds until ETC can use the Mosh Pit again. He pushes the top lane, and then he can just simply jump in to the stage level, of course, not the Mosh Pit. But the scenario is the same. Bot lane is getting pressured by a camp. ETC can jump in. Well is still active, so they can just fall back to the fort. And here comes that slide in. The leap as an afterstun. Oh my god, both of the healers are immediately blown to pieces. The great palm on Celium to keep him alive. And this is a triple kill. Falstad falls, and now they're trying to make it 4. Tic Tac on his Anubarak is about to die. Unbelievable. A great stage dive into the backline. The leap as the follow-up coming in right away. Double kill against Tyrande and Rhaegar. And then the follow-up against Anubarak and Falstad. They completely blow the Evil Murkies to pieces here. They have a 2-level lead right now. They go through the middle. This is the reckoning. This is absolutely insane what we're seeing right now. They dominate this game start to finish at this point. We have them with an early level 16. Sonya is still on the Shrine, the only one to really get a few more minion stacks, and she is going to have no problem whatsoever to make sure that they get the next Punisher. It's a Mortar Punisher, and like that has to be key. 11 minutes in, and this has to be key. They're already looking at the cooldowns being ready again on their heroics, and that would result potentially in another engage with Leap on Sonya, especially since Arthas and Nubarak both don't have their heroic ability yet. So they can just jump on Tyrande or Rhaegar once again. The Punisher is already baited, but everything else in the mid lane is absolutely open. Arcane with the Mighty Gust that might be the saving grace here in the end. They go for Mopsio, who has to rush away here, but Zanatan might be a bit too low. Gets healed in the last moment possible. Raid Boss jumps out with the lead. Maybe a bit too greedy after all. 16 talents are there, but here come the Murkies. They're trying to re-engage, but the problem is that ETC just slides in. The kill against Falstad, and they get Anubarak, they get Arthas. Everybody dies, and the keep is gone. They jump in. Mosh pit in the face! The cow goes complete crazy and takes down Q, and they go for the core. They try to end the game, and guess what? They're gonna do it. Unbelievable. What a play here. What a game. 14 kills against 1. And it is the lead for Team CC against the Evil Murkies at the Grand Final. Game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. And, well, the Evil Murkies, they got kind of wrecked in the last game. It was brutal, savage, and that was just a reckoning. But, well, we have game number 2 on our hands, and the Evil Murkies, they can redeem themselves now. They have the first ban, and they are about to ban, well, they actually, like, trigger around a lot. This is a map where you can go for, this is a couple of strategies that you can actually play here. A lot of teams focus a lot on pressuring the Immortal with like a Sylvanas with the Barbed Shot on level 7, a Toranda for example, a Li Ming for additional poke. You can even go Artanis here with, Artanis is actually a hero that has, especially in Scrim, been played a lot on Battlefield of Eternity. So there's a couple of things that you can really do which are very different from other maps because you have that huge focus on the Immortal as is. Karantal, thank you very much for the sub, my friend. Thanks for that. But with the Evil Murkies, we actually see Falset being banned out first. And let's see how the CrowingCocks are going to start this up. Because this is a map that I have to admit, I really kind of like this a lot. I mean, Lunara, for example, is amazing here too. After she hits level 7 and is able to just capitalize on the Nature's Culling, it's a great talent to take. And so for now, we're seeing Illidan being banned out, which is kinda what you would expect. Illidan is still like one of the bans that we normally see. Ooh. They go for an Abathur ban? We know that the Evil Murkies sometimes actually go for a bit of a different strategy. We've even seen like Tracer plays by them when they played like Tracer plus Abathur going for like a double Tracer, which is very annoying. But yeah, Abathur, of course, can be nice on the map, but I feel that Illidan ban is still the safer option. Even if the Evil Murkies decide to go into an Abathur at some point, with an Illidan ban, you are normally in a situation where you're at least safe. It's like, it's a safe ban to take. Because if you don't do that, your opponent has a very good shot of just simply like throwing in the Illidan, and then you're always in this fight where it's just like the only question, are you able to take Illidan down, yes or no? A Tigers as a first pick would be an interesting choice here, though, because we see Tigers more and more often, especially on the Korean server, but also on the European. Not necessarily as a first pick, though. But Tigers has seen some play today, and the Evil Murkies, okay, they switch away and they go into the ETC instead. I would still have said that a Tyrande, a Li Ming, would have been better. I actually expected Li Ming, and I would say that for the CrowingCocks, if they don't go Kel'Thas, then going for Li Ming early on would be a good choice. Kel'Thas is a great option one way or another, though. I mean, you can never really go wrong with a Kel'Thas. Let's just face it. Kel'Thas is one of those heroes where you can not really go wrong with. Li Ming is a bit different because it's very heavy map dependent, I want to say. On Infernal Shrines, I don't really think you get a lot of value out of her. But already the CrowingCocks here with the Tyrande and with the Kel'Thas, therefore they can have the immortal damage. I'm personally a little bit wondering about which team is going to pick up that Lunara, because I believe we should see her on this map. It's just amazing what you can do with this particular setup if you have the Nature's Culling. A Muradin plus an ETC would actually give a lot of stun lock already to the Evil Murkies, and normally Muradin on this map goes into at least Sledgehammer on level 4, because you end up with the same advantages that the Tyrande or a Lunara or like, what? Now I'm back to the point where I'm wondering if this is real. This can't be real, right? Stack, seriously, like... Thanks. I'm really getting to the point where I don't know what to say anymore. Like, by now I haven't even checked this last time, but by now I really hope that this is fake, because this is crazy. Stop robbing banks during the breaks, dude, seriously. Boys, the Muradin and the Li Ming. Single target damage against the Immortals is going to be important here. This ZOTAC Cup is going to be my doom. Like Illidan has been saying it over and over again during these, you are not prepared, and yes, I'm definitely not, because this is just kind of starting to kill me. The stack attacks are getting out of control. Dude, you are insane. Like, there's, like, what's the next level above insane? Like, In terms of bans, boys, we have Tacita and also Uther apparently banned out. It's the support bans that are happening. Rega is still open, and there's a good chance that the CrowingCocks are actually going into a Rega ban, but yeah, and someone in chat is saying it. Not even a message, dude. Like, you're just casually dropping that out there, and you're like, deal with it. I need my deal with it glasses. Where's my sunglasses? I had like Heroes of the Storm sunglasses somewhere here, and I don't know where they are. Need something to hide my face. The Rega is coming in. Greyman was banned out. Zagara for Vision on the map, which is pretty awesome as is. We still don't have a Lunara, by the way, and I believe the Evil Murkies should go Lunara Charism here. I really think this is probably the best option that they have at this point. At least I think that's what has to happen here. The one thing that we learned during the draft is that Stack is insane. That guy is crazy. In a good way, but he's still crazy. That's what we learned in the last 2 drafts, guys. So all hail to Stack, I suppose. But he's still crazy. Don't pick Evala over Lunara on Battlefield. On any other map, I'm your biggest fan if you do that. But why? Yes, auto attack builds can be great here, but pick that Lunara. She's just dirty, dirty damage right there. Pick Bambi. They pick Vala. The only conclusion that I have looking at this is they don't have a Lunara player.
Or I was fake.
What? Before I was... No, I said I hope it's fake. Like, at this point, it's getting out of control completely. Fix your mic? Oh. Yeah, apparently my mic also, like, dropped to the bottom, and therefore the sound wasn't... At this point, guys, it's just, like... Yeah. Mic wasn't fine. It, like, switched down a little bit. Like, this is when you facepalm yourself so hard because Stack is owning you so massively that you don't even know where your microphone is anymore. So that's kind of what happens. Probably works out in my favor since nobody sees anymore how, like... thrown off by all of that I am. The BC Warrior spam in the chat has already started. Like, can somebody check if there's like... Oh god, thank god. I need to turn it off. A Nubarak single tank? Really?
Mike is broke, Khaldor.
It isn't broke. If it's still broke, if it's still not really audible, like by now it should be audible. Like by now it should be audible again. It's not broke. It's just like when I facepalm myself because Stack was owning me so hard, the mic moved down to the bottom a little bit. That was my bad. Sorry for that. Okay, guys, you have the draft in front of you. I tried. I failed because I got owned hard, which I'm on one hand very happy for about, but on the other hand I'm like, what? Let's go into game number 2. And yeah, let's see who's going to take it. The CC is in the lead. Battlefield of Eternity is the map. Let's start the game. Game number 2 and potentially the last map of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We have to the left side the Evil Murkies. And well, in this case, they are running Li Ming from Q. Great hero on the map. Great poke against the Immortal. Zzz, the Smurf account of Tic Tac on ETC. Arcane this time on Vala, which I still don't really understand because I feel like Lunara would have been so much better, even though I am a Vala fan. She's my girl, my dirty girl, because I do dirty things with her. Danatan is playing Muradin. We have Lothair on Charism, and to the right side, the team in the lead. It is the Cowing Crows with Mopsion and Nubarak. Celium on Zagara, Luna on Rega, Sphyxia on Tyrande, and Raid Boss is playing Kelthas. And Nubarak as a solo tank is a bit ballsy, to say the least. I don't really think I've seen too much of that just yet. But I'm a little bit curious to see how this is going to work out for them right now. So at this point, we have, when we're looking at builds, actually, Okay, this is now the moment when I understand a bit less what Arcane is doing here. He is a great Vala player. Don't get me wrong, like, it's not like he's a bad Vala player or anything. It's just like I feel if you're playing this particular game and you're trying to go for burst against the opponent's Punisher, then it makes more sense to go into Lunara. He also doesn't really cater towards the map with an auto attack build that we sometimes see with even Rancor on level 1, but he still goes into that hybrid build where you go on level 1 for the composite arrow and then normally onto the Frost Shot on level 13. So there's a lot that you can do with that, but I am actually a bit interested to see how much value they're going to get out of this. We have the perfect storm now taken, and this is one of those things where you can get a lot of damage out of the sledgehammer. I've been actually harping on it a little bit during the draft, where I've been trying to explain before Stack owned my ass. That with Sledgehammer you get the extra damage in against the Immortal, and that is one of those builds that we oftentimes see. Danatan is actually attacked here, and this is Convection taken on level 1. And with Convection as a level 1 talent, we have a huge focus already on Flame Strikes, which is actually pretty cool if you're just trying to poke from a distance. And most likely we're going to see Burnt Flesh on level 7, and then also the adjustment on level 16 frame. At least that's what we would expect here for now. Up at the top lane, Muradin and Vala are aiming for a kill against Zagara. Not quite sure if that's going to work out for them. Selim is actually doing a really good job putting Arcane low, and that makes it a bit harder for the blue team to really go for the Immortal. That is already being attacked. But overall, we have a scenario in which the setup that we see is actually favoring the French team slightly, thanks, especially after level 4 then. Thanks to their setup where they can use Danatan with the Sledgehammer and the Perfect Storm to get additional value against the Immortal itself. I'm very curious to see, though, how a CC is going to run this year, because they have been really impressive today in their performance. Once again, lockdown, though, the Evil Murkies, they have a chance to redeem themselves in this game, and they are trying to make that happen with Tic-Tac, but a nice move. Raid Boss is still alive. They're going for the fight. Vala is not with the team. It's a 5 versus 4 for a little bit longer. Danatan moves in, gets another Stormbolt against Raid Boss. ETC pushed them out of the stun circle even. And again, the focus on the Immortal. And so far, things are looking pretty decent for the red team. And both of the teams heading slowly into level 4 right now. And down to the bottom, again, an attempt to just like burn one of these waves away in time. For now, it's still Immortal pressure. And we're seeing the red team in particular starting to really put the pain onto the Immortal. There's the stun circle. Danatan wants the kill. Is deep in the backline. So is ETC. The double warrior line is working quite well for them. The kill against Khaldor. But the Punisher has already been taken. Now it's time to rush away here, especially as Lunan is trying to escape, and he might not be able to. He is trying to, but Li Ming is mercilessly taking him down. Job well done here. Very well played. 2 kills against 0, but that Immortal, of course, still getting a bit of value. Immortal doesn't really have too many shields, though, so he switches over into the melee mode immediately. And is starting to move in. There's the Sledgehammer. This talent is absolutely fantastic if you play on Battlefield of Eternity against and just trying to put the Immortal pressure on. Manticore, same time Triumph Parade has been taken. Underking for the additional Initiate on Anubarak side, which still strikes me at a bit odd to see an Anubarak solo. Not only that he's solo, but he's solo against double tank frontline. It's a bit weird. If they can keep him alive, don't get me wrong, then it's going to be absolutely fantastic for them. I just don't really think that it's going to be easy for them. I suppose that we are going to have Rhaegar dropping the Earth Shield on 13 and then heading straight into an Ancestral, so Earth Shield into Ancestral after quick healing, but overall it's going to be very tough to keep Anubarak alive for long. He will have to go also on level 10, of course, into the Locust Swarm, which is the priority heroic ability for the hero as is anyways. But I don't think that he has even an opportunity or like a chance to go into his cocoon, because there's just absolutely no way that you do that. Besides that, we have both of the teams now on level 6. We're also seeing Envenomed Spines taken. We have the Healing Totem. There's a Pierce and Netherwind as the level 4 talents. And with level 7 just around the corner, the two teams are waiting for the next Immortal to be announced. And it is going to happen on level 7 talents. Another tower is down, and that drops level 7 and nearly into the hands of Team CC. So far they don't have a kill yet, but they won the first Immortal, and that already gave them a slight advantage when it comes to structures. Both of the teams are, by the way, now starting to push the first fort. The thing is, though, that the red team is so much faster at the bot lane because of their setup here. And they are going for the fort already. The rotation is there, and we have Lunan overstaying maybe a bit. He needs to be very careful here because that Stormbolt is about to hit, and there it is. The damage is immediately in, but it's not enough to take Lunan down. He moves away on level 7. We have Shed Exoskeleton, which gives a bit more movement speed to a Nubarak. It's actually a really cool choice. Burnt Flesh, as expected, already taken here now too. And for Li Ming on this map with the Seeker. Perfect choice. Calamity is great on a lot of maps, especially when you need Wave Clear. On this one in particular, you need to go into the Seeker talent. Also, Hurricane and Lord, they are both on the run. Mopsio's trying to go in, but that's a lot of damage against the blue team. And that opens up a small time window in which they can start to dish out damage against the Immortal of the blue team, yeah, against the Evil Murkies Immortal. So that's really going to help them to even up their count a bit for now. Li Ming has still pressured the bot lane in the meantime. And at this point, everyone else is starting to jump into position again to just continue the burst on the Immortals. The top lane is still pressuring though, and this is one of the camps that has been taken a bit earlier by the blue team. So defense is for now the name of the game, but Danatan and also Q with his Li Ming can now do a whole lot of work against this Immortal. Top lane has finally been depushed, but this Immortal is going to be poked to death eventually if they don't engage. Danatan is a little bit low though and gets that Living Bomb once again. The poke from Kel'Thas is real. Raid Boss needs to keep himself alive, of course, if he wants to complete his quest. It's going to be a really important one for the success of his team. We're going to have a closer look at that a little bit more often than later on. But here's that poke, and as I said before, if they don't go for a big engage at some point, they're going to lose that poke battle. You just can't defend the entire time against a team that is running a Li Ming, a Vala, and also that Stormbolt pressure. So right now, Immortal is taken, and that is a huge Immortal, by the way. I mean, that bad boy has a lot of shields. And now when we're looking at the bot lane where the Immortal is going to position itself, let's have also another closer look at Convection for now. I'm going to keep you updated a bit with his stacks. So right now he is at 5 bonus damage, 1 hero hit. Problem is, of course, if you die, then you lose all of that again. And that's basically the big problem that he's facing. So he has to make sure that he survives a few of these fights. But the wall is already about to be destroyed, and I mean, boys, seriously, that's a Nubarak. I'm still not sold on the idea. I really feel overall the situation is not too bad, but I'm not sure if that front line is going to be strong enough. Moblio's playing a pretty solid Nubarak so far, don't get me wrong. It's just like that he has very limited options. I mean, there's so many stats available to the opponent, and that follow-up then too. Not sure if that's going to be enough for them. Once again, we have the Immortal go through a fort, so it's basically a lead for the Evil Murkies. Well, not just basically, I mean, they're hitting level 10. The heroic abilities alone are a big asset to them, and there is that strafe, disintegrate. Haymaker has been chosen now as well. Muradin is going all out here, and besides that, we're also seeing Mosh Pit plus Divine Palm. And there's only 2-3 interrupts. Well, the more, there's 4 interrupts against the Mosh Pit, so I suppose that's alright. But the problem still is that it's so damn scary. Every single time that Mopsio goes in, he has to be afraid for his life. He always has to save the burrow chart, basically, to escape. If he initiates with that and he gets stunned, I don't know how he's supposed to escape. So I'm not sure if that setup is really going to work out for CC. They played an amazing game so far today. Not only here in the Grand Final, but also in the semis. They did really well against CLG. For now, we have them with a Locust Swarm, more Ancestral Healing as you would expect, Starfall and Phoenix. And I mean, those two are, of course, really valuable. We've seen that already against CLG a bit earlier, where all that AoE help them to really get the damage in. I mean, just imagine a Maw against 3 or 4 heroes, and then Starfall and also the Phoenix dropped on top of that, plus maybe that Flame Strike hitting just in time by Kel'Thas. That's so much damage on one point or one area. It's very tricky to really survive that. Sagara, by the way, didn't even go into damage, and I mean, why would she? They have enough damage dealer as is. We're seeing her with the Endless Creep, and the vision on the map is pretty impressive. I mean, at least for now, we're seeing a lot of movements from the blue team happening right on top of Creep, so that it's plainly visible to Team CC. But the matter of the fact is that we still have a level lead for the Evil Murkies, and they have 2 kills against 0. Nice disengage by Mopsio again. As I said, he's actually playing a pretty top-notch Nubarak right now. The question is Nubarak really gonna be enough? Damage output then later on heroes like Kel'Thas is of course going to be a pretty different matter though. Already, the attempt to burst, Danatan is a bit alone. What? Okay. Danatan, like the Suicide Dwarf, is down. And in this case, that defense did not work whatsoever. Right now, we're having a fight on level 10 talents. And now with 15 seconds left on Muradin, he is going to rejoin the fight. But until then, we could see a hard engage on the side of the red team, trying to make sure that they get Punisher number 2. And that's already what they're working on right now. Nopsio's trying to zone our arcade a little bit. Lotea is there. Here comes once again ETC. Stun circles are ready. But the heroic abilities, they're starting to drop the Starfall to zone them out. And that's a very nice attempt. It also buys them some time to go for the Immortal. They take it down. Can they get a kill on top of it? Nah, not really likely. But they still have a... Oh, good stun though. But they still have a situation in which they now run a pretty solid Immortal, 50% shields. They need to wait for Nuburak to come back before they can really hard engage into a fight. But they definitely have an opportunity right now to go for that key fort. And if they at least drop the fort, they should close the gap in experience and actually even get a little bit ahead of their opponent. And Nuburak is taking the bot lane. The problem is that we have ETC starting to look for a setup at the top. Lunan! Smart. Alright, he immediately double checks where his opponent is positioned. Oh, Arcane. Oh, the shield! The protective shield is keeping him alive just barely. They're trying to go up for the backline again, and Nuburak is starting to move up to the top. Arcane is still so low. Good heal on Sphinxie to run and moving away, and Nuburak is moving in again. The stuns, the Maw is already there. Everybody jumping away. The mosh pit is interrupted by by the bug as he moves in. Karazin is down. ETC is isolated. Vala is also finally dead. I mean, Arcane should have died like 5 times, but he survived somehow. Once again, Li Ming is down too. They are chasing everyone. And for some reason, the cow is still alive. So now they're trying to box him in. Tic Tac is going to fall eventually. I mean, it's going to take a little bit, but alright, this is it. Tic Tac is down and they are going for keep. Unfucking-believable. They actually go straight through the fort. They go for the keep. 5 kills against 2. Evil Murkies force a 4 versus 5 fight, and still we are seeing CC turn it around as Mopsio arrives and the fight. He interrupts the mosh pit. They go in, they get their Maws off, they get their kills, they save Turanda with a good ancestral healing, drop Balunan, and then they just simply take Vala down, who was so low the entire fight as is, and from there on out it's basically just a cleanup job. Even with all the damage output, with the Haymaker and everything else that the Evil Murkies could field into the fight, it was not enough. Now we're seeing level 13 talents for both of the teams. We have, in terms of damage output, 17,000 on Li Ming, 26,000 already on Kel'Thas. And I mean, talking Kel'Thas, we have currently 11 heroes hit out of 20. So the quest talent is still not successfully claimed yet. So we're going to see that pretty soon. I mean, you see the border right now down here. So we're getting a bit of an indicator when exactly that's going to be completed. If he can keep himself alive a little bit longer and just poke with a Flame Strike, then Raid Boss is going to dish out incredible damage later on in the game. But right now, this is going to be a pretty... If they get another fight like this, it's going to be sick. Top lane is already pushing, and that was perfect timing with the Immortal. Now they're starting to get another camp at the bot lane, and if they can defend this one quite quickly, that would help them a lot. Evil Murkies are in trouble. They are trying to force the fight here before the Punisher is there. That might be their saving grace. If they make this fight work, then maybe. If they don't, then they are in a world of pain. Already Danatan Shaman. Look how low they are already. The fight hasn't even started. That's stun already. There comes Mopsio. The top lane is still being pushed. Bot lane is being pushed. They de-push the camp. And right now there's camps on both lanes pressuring the Evil Murkies. It's perfect timing. From a strategical point of view, Team CrowingCocks is doing everything that they have to. Like, look at this camp. Someone has to deal with this. Someone has to deal with it, or it is going to start and pressure the core as well. It's not going to end the game, but hell, it's going to maybe drop the shields and put a bit of pressure point already at the core. Whereas the bot lane, of course, is in a very similar situation. That Khaldor camp is eventually resulting in a fort being dropped. Here comes the Maw. Where is that Starfall? Starfall can be dropped now. The stun as the follow-up. No Starfall just yet. The camp at the top lane has arrived at the core and is starting to drop shields, by the way. In the meantime, the fight for the Immortal is still raging on. Mopsio is up at the front, is moving back once again, is trying to go for Muradin. Danatan! 80 hit points and barely surviving. Again, Mopsio attack, but there is that Ancestral, and it is too late. Muradin survives, and a Nuburak dies. That's the story of this fight so far, but still a huge experience lead that we have on the side of the red team. They're trying to wait for an Uberak. Bot lane pressure still ongoing. This is still happening right now. But we see at the same time the Evil Murkies, they're smelling blood in the water. They know that they have actually an opportunity to maybe get another Immortal. And if they do that, they will march through that top lane. 10 seconds until an Uberak is back, and here comes the defense. Raid Boss, he's trying to just snipe a little bit. He's very close to complete his quest talent, and that will drop a lot more damage onto his Flame Strike, but there's so much damage here already. The halftime show is not going to be successful for them. No level 16 talent just yet. If that fort at the bot lane falls, on the other hand, that could really, really help. Yeah, Reka was even looking at maybe bursting that wave away, but they don't. They instead just try to go for the defense here. Once again, Raid Boss with that quick Flame Strike. They're trying to go in. He only misses 1-2 more hits, and then he's going to be golden. That cooldown will be ready in just a bit. He can't get too greedy here. Good hit. One more, and he will have the quest talent completed. That's going to help them a lot with the damage output. They are about to lose the Immortal, though, but they're trying to go for the kill, and there we have it. Raid Boss has already the extra damage. His quest talent has been completed, so this is going to help him quite a bit with that damage output. So at this point, he has the 20 bonus damage, 175 at this point already, and he is going to try and use that as much as he can during the fights. The level 16 talent is also available, and the Immortal has still not been claimed. They're trying to go into the team fight. Here comes that stun attempt. Not successful. Mopsio with the ult. Bot lane pressure still against that fort, but the Khaldor camp is by now eliminated. The problem is that just a bit of poke is going to eliminate the Immortal here, but they're trying to go for a kill against our Arcane, and this time he can't escape. This is the kill against Vala. What a beautiful trap by Team CC. It comes at a cost, of course. They will lose the Immortal. They knew that from the get-go, but at least they get the kill against Vala, and that makes it easier for them to defend. Since they now run a 4 versus 5, and they can just simply go for it. They have the talent advantage. They have also a situation in which they can burn down the Immortal quite easily and just move to the top. As long as Fixie doesn't die here, they're going to be absolutely fine. Here is Celium already in position. They're already, Maw is ready as well. They're starting to move in. They're trying to go for the battle. Here comes those Flame Strikes, and they really hurt at this point. They start hurting a lot. Q is already under pressure. Here's the kill, and then Maw to isolate the second target. Drop against Lothair. He palms himself, but well, it's not going to help for long. Wow, nice zip around there. He actually might escape. Well done. Great play by Lothair. Very impressive. Really cool dashes that we've seen on his part. He saves himself, but with Li Ming down, Vala back, this Immortal is not doing more than just simply go through that fort and then getting eliminated. Level 16 talents now for both of them. The heavy impact have now been chosen as well. It's all about the stuns on the CC. Even Executioner for Vala, since she's trying to push out a little bit more damage. The Frost Shot to just complete the hybrid build. So we have Composite Arrows and Frost Shot trying to slow targets down. What a hit with the Ranger talent here by Tyrande. Getting a lot of damage in against Arcane. At the same time, we're also seeing, by the way, the level 16 talents here, of course, with the Fury of the Sun. Well, that second Flame Strike is going to be so damn good in damage output. I mean, just take a closer look at what we are currently seeing in terms of damage. We have 29,000 as the top damage dealer on the side of the blue team, which is Vala in this case. And Kel'Thas is already at 44,000. And he is just going to increase that as the game continues with all the talents that he currently has at his disposal. We're seeing 7 kills against 3, and they make this an Uberak solo work. Yes, with the double support, but still, pretty impressive so far. And Uberak has also died only once. Muradin, by the way, when it comes to damage, 17,000 despite Haymaker. Danatan still, of course, trying to go for the CCs here. They're jumping in once again. Nice damage output. Really solid damage output. The wave clear on Raid Boss Kel'Thas is, of course, now also insane now that he has the Fury of the Sun. Well, yeah, he gets the stun, though. That's a problem. Ancestral is saving him, but that leaves Mopsio out cold. They're using... Oh, the mosh pit against 4! The mosh pit against 4, but no follow-up! And Muradin moves in and dies too. That's... Oh, my God, to the... Oh, my God. There's a Phoenix and a Starfall. Muradin wants the kill. They get greedy. They see the form and mosh pit and they're trying to do something about it. They move into the death zone and just pop like pimples. Down they go. Karazim and Muradin. ETC is killed shortly after as he tries to escape. He gets the perfect mosh pit off, but he just doesn't have the damage behind him to drop him. And this could be game. They go for a core, and what a play to round it down. Q is trying to use the resets, but the core is already down to half HP. There's a more against Vala, and this is it. CrowingCocks are taking it with a 2-0 victory at the grand finale at the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final. What a series and what a team. Great play and a well-deserved victory.